I'm so glad after wasting my time watching a piece of crap, I can finally talk about another good movie. One that I have loved since childhood, just like Sword in the Stone. And while I don't think it's as great as that movie, it's still a good time, and I'm excited to talk about it. So, this review is going to be a bit short and to the point because this movie is pretty straightforward. It's an adaptation of Robin Hood, but a safe Disney version that takes out any of the adult, mature, boundary pushing elements. Now, it's more than likely not the best adaptation of the source material, but it is arguably the most well known. So, without further ado or delay, let's talk about it and why I think it's a good movie, even if most people don't. Controversial opinion alert, to say the least. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your station for animation, including TV and movies and everything else. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to DisneyVember 2. Now that we have just scraped that piece of crap Aristocats out to the trash can, now we can talk about a good movie again. One from my childhood, and one that may or may not be a little controversial. Let's talk about Robin Hood. Yeah, this is the gold version. I know this isn't the Masterpiece Collection tape, I know. This is the one I've had since I was a kid. I have no idea what happened to the case. I don't know, but point is, I still have it. This is my childhood VHS tape right here. And I have watched it so many times. Like, even before that I became a critic, I really enjoyed this movie. Like, I thought it was fun, I thought it was hilarious, and I thought it was very entertaining and enjoyable. Just a simple, fun little adventure movie. Just pretty much what it is. It's a simple, fun adventure movie, but it knows what it is, it doesn't try to be more than it is, and it has fun with it. Now, yes, there is one big flaw with this movie that we do have to address, and that is the fact that it reuses animation from the Jungle Book. Like, it literally recycles the exact same character animation and character movement. Just the models are switched out. I will admit that is lazy on Disney's part, but you know what? I will take this if it means we never get another Aristocrats again, so. Here's my review. More than likely controversial, but this is my opinion. I really like this movie. I still hope you enjoy regardless. Controversial opinion, more than likely, but I actually like this one a lot more than the movie it recycles its animation from. Jungle Book. Yes, I like this more than Jungle Book, and no, I'm not kidding you. Another one I watched a ton as a kid, and even now, just like Sword and Stone, it's honestly gotten even more enjoyable. But again, not as great as that movie. In fact, unfortunately, I can't even call this movie great, because it does have some problems. I know that there's some people out there that absolutely hate this movie. Anime. And I can kind of understand why, because it does have its problems. But I've always had fond memories whenever I watched it, and even now I just can't bring myself to hate it. It's a lot like Ricky Tikki Tavi. It's one of those movies that I grew up watching, that I love because I watched it so much growing up, but if I watched it nowadays, maybe I'd be a bit more on the fence, or towards other people's side. And yeah, I will definitely review Ricky Tikki Tavi at some point. It's another childhood animation I want to talk about someday. Okay, sorry, I'm wasting time. Let's get back to the review. Pros: fun characters. Marion, Robin Hood, Big John, Prince John, all the characters. The Rooster, all of them. All the characters are likable here. Good action, delightful music, great voice acting. Definitely heard a lot more investment in this than I did with the Aristocrats, let me tell you. Excellent humor. This movie's funny. Like, I can't even try to describe to you one single moment about why it's funny. It's just funny. If I had to give maybe one moment, it is during the little sports festival they have in the movie. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but there's a sports festival. And Robin Hood crashes the party to try and win the hand of Prince Marion. And he wins, but then gets revealed by one of Prince John's underlings. It turns into a battle. Robin Hood finds a way to escape again, so Prince John takes his little snake subject, ties him up in a knot, and is just like, try to get out of that if you can. And he does it in such a goofy voice. Not to mention Prince John himself is just such a fun, underrated villain. Like, seriously, he's always been one of my favorite Disney villains, up there with Syndrome, honestly. I really like him. I've always really liked Prince John as a villain. He's such a spoiled, whiny, narcissistic brat, but He's so delightfully over the top and funny that you just can't hate him. Like, he's a great villain. I really have nothing else to say about him. Great villain. Another fantastic all-time Disney villain. I already talked about that. Sorry for going off script. Solid pacing. Not too fast, not too slow. Kind of in the middle. Satisfying ending, if it is a little bit rushed. And high rewatchability. I've rewatched this movie more times than I can even try to count. Not as much as Sword in the Stone, but close. Cons. Lazy recycled animation. Like, even as much as I like this movie, I cannot forgive it for that. Never recycle your animation. Always try to do something different. Overdone story, it's the story of Robin Hood. You've heard it a dozen times before, you're going to hear it a dozen times more. Flat side characters, I'm mainly talking about like the kids and all the castle people besides Princess Marion. All those characters are flat. They're fun, but they're flat and one-dimensional. And runtime, that's just a little bit too long. This movie is a little bit longer than it needs to be. How long is this movie? I forget. 83 minutes. I think you can actually chop that down to about maybe 73. Take an extra 10 minutes off, and I think you have a perfect runtime. But as it is, it runs just a little bit too long, and you don't really start to feel it until you get to the second half, with the whole prison scene. Overall, though, I still really enjoy Robin Hood. It's not perfect, but much like the title character itself, it's fun and charming. I can understand why most don't like it, and I'll admit that it is a bit on the simplistic side, especially in comparison to something like another book-based adaptation from Disney, Alice in Wonderland, that was done years beforehand, but I can still recommend it. It's a good time. It's worth at least one watch. If you're a fan of Robin Hood, this is definitely one that you need to check out. If you're not a fan of Robin Hood, I still think this movie's worth watching. If you're not a Disney fan, don't watch this at all, it's not for you. And if you are a Disney fan that has not seen it before, give it a try. It just might surprise you. And because of that, my final verdict for Robin Hood is going to be a 7 out of 10. It's a very good movie. I've always really liked it, but I can understand it's a controversial opinion. Some people really hate this movie. And I can kind of get it, but at the same time, I also just can't bring myself to do the same. I've had great memories with this one. I'm going to keep making great memories with this one. And it's always going to sit proudly in my little VHS collection for years and years to come. Though at some point I am going to upgrade to the Masterpiece Collection version, and then this version will just be a childhood relic I'll keep on display or something. And that's it. That is literally all I have to say about Robin Hood. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. And stay tuned, because we're not done with DisneyVember yet. We still have a good bit left to go. And next up is one I actually haven't watched before. And one I thankfully happen to own. So I'll see you guys next time when we dive into probably one of the most beloved and likable characters in all of Disney's entire catalog, and one that once again is yet another book-based adaptation. For some reason, Disney just loves to do these. I'll see you next time for The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And yes, it is the Masterpiece Collection version. I haven't seen this one before, despite being a big fan of Winnie the Pooh, because I grew up on the Heffalump movie, personally. But I'm excited to watch it, I'm excited to see what drew people into it, and just have a fun time, because, I mean, it is Winnie the Pooh. It's hard to screw that up. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.
To forget, so listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who ripped his pants.